as well. Time for Lara Warrington 2.
Time to smash it.
Confirm that Tony Bellew did indeed smash the boxing bag machine there. A score of 962, which means I'm going to come in second place at best today because I'm not beating 962. It is the Dazn boxing show of myself, Adi Oladipo, the main man there, Tony Bellew. We're at the wonderful Emerald Headingley Stadium here in Leeds, home of Leeds Rhinos, but it will be taken over by Josh Warrington fans. 20,000 of them are expected here today for what should be an absolutely fantastic fight card. Tony, looking forward to this one. I feel like we've gone up a few gears. I mean, fight camp was excellent, right? It was nice, but it was a small crowd of, what, 300?
Yeah.
This is 20,000.
Yeah.
This is going to be crazy in a couple of hours.
It is. Fans are back, and now we're at the point where it's defining fights in people's career, Addy.
Yeah.
This is a huge, massive defining fight in Josh Warrington's career. Up to this stage, the most important fight of his career, without a shadow of a doubt. So he's got it all to do against Mauricio Lara. And let's not forget, Katie Taylor as well. She can't afford to slip up at this stage. It's just a huge bill.
Yeah, Katie Taylor versus Jennifer Hearn. We've got obviously Conor Benn versus Granados. Just before we introduce you to a third member of the team, quick word about Oscar De La Hoya. Obviously, we're supposed to fight against Vitor Belfort in that fight a couple of weeks' time. He's out. He has tested positive for COVID. We wish him all a speedy recovery.
Of course, very, very unfortunate that this illness has got hold of him. What an amazing fighter.
Yeah.
Oscar was one of the greats, potentially one of the greatest left hands I've ever seen in boxing.
Indeed.
What he could do with that lead hand was unbelievable, from body to head. But we wish him a speedy recovery. Hope he gets over this soon and gets back to full health.
Indeed, we certainly do. All right, I mentioned there's a third member of our team. It is wonderful, Miss Ali Drew, who's ringside. Ali, what can we expect this evening?
Yes, I am here taking you behind the scenes again. Very soon there is going to be 20,000 fans sat right here ready for the action to start. I'm going to be roaming around, seeing who I can find, speaking to some people. I'll be grabbing some of the before the bell fighters as they're getting ready to come out, so we'll have a little chat with them. It's going to be a great night. But back to Addy and Tony for the opening bell.
Can't wait for it, Tony. The main event, Josh Warrington versus Mauricio Lara. They fought back in February, and I think it's fair to say it's one of the biggest upsets. I think the biggest upset we've seen this year. Josh Warrington on his way to those massive fights against the likes of Gary Russell Jr., Leo Santa Cruz. They were talking about Kanju as well. It got derailed in February. He gets a chance here for a bit of redemption, a bit of revenge. Isn't going to be easy, though.
No, it's a very, very risky fight this is for him, because he could have took, you know, the approach that other fighters bigger than him have taken down the road before. We talked about Amir Khan versus Brady Prescott this week, and how he derailed away from the rematch straight away. But it shows to me that Josh Warrington is in full control of his career. He's demanded this rematch. When you see managers and promoters with agendas, they usually try and stay away from immediate rematches because they usually tend to go the same way, Addy. But Josh believes his mind wasn't fully focused on the job that night. He believes he can do better, and tonight he's going to have to prove it.
Yeah, he certainly is going to have to prove it. Look, it's a big ask against Mauricio Lara. Obviously, looking at the first fight, I mean, it was almost one-way traffic, wasn't it? Especially from round 4, where he got in so much trouble. And credit to Josh to stay in there until round 9, but it's going to be difficult to turn this around.
He showed an immense amount of bravery that night. He really did. You know, my heart went out to him. I felt so much for him. But let's just not forget here, this wasn't a close fight. Yeah. This was a destruction from the first knockdown. It was one-way traffic all night, and Josh showed unbelievable heart to stay in there, wanting to carry on fighting, but he was just out of his depth. And I do think the shock factor got a massive hold of me. Did not expect this guy to be able to hurt him. In his mind...
None of us did we really?
No, we didn't, Addy, but you've always got to give every fighter the respect of we can be hurt. It only takes one punch in any weight division on the right point of your chin and you're going down. So, you know, he's now got to detach himself emotionally from this fight, and looking at the weigh-in, I don't think he did. I thought that he got involved. when he didn't
Who initiated it first? It almost looked like Josh said a few words to him, I'm guessing in Spanish. I don't know that Josh knew any Spanish. Lara had a little dig to the body.
Yeah.
What are you taking from that?
It wasn't really a dig to the body. It was more of just a slight move back, because he didn't like the closeness of how close Josh was getting, and I think Josh was getting closer. So Josh definitely initiated the first contact. Josh was the one who initiated getting closer and getting in his face. Lara didn't like that. Lara's had a bee in his bonnet since the first fight ended, to be totally honest, because everybody said it was fluke, it was luck, and that's kind of riled him up. Whereas Josh, on the other hand, has been nothing but respectful. Josh has been very, listen, I wasn't on my game that night. I'll show everyone that now I know what to expect. I'll deal with this guy.
So why the switch now in Josh? Where's that come from? Is it because there were nearly 700 fans there yesterday? Is it because he needs to get to that level again to produce the performances we've seen against the likes of Frampton and Selby? Why this new Josh Warrington?
I do think that Josh Warrington is a fighter who benefits massively from fans.
Yeah.
I 100% think that. He's always fought in front of big crowds. He's engrossed in the crowd, that atmosphere. You know, he screams Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. He's all there for the people. But tonight he's got an emotionally detached idea, or it will be the undoing of him, trust me, because he cannot get involved with Mauricio Lara too much tonight. He's going to have to show us things that he hasn't shown us before.
Yeah, look, it's a fantastic card, isn't it? It really is. I've been saying all night, all week, this is 4 main events for me. The co-main event is Katie Taylor versus Jennifer Han. Katie Taylor, arguably, I think, the greatest female fight we've ever seen. But Jennifer Han, obviously a world champion in her own right as well. Good opportunity for Jennifer Han. Look, they've been crying out for an opportunity for her. She gets it now, but she gets it against Katie Taylor in front of 20,000 Katie Taylor fans as well, really. Not easy, this one, for Jennifer.
It's not, but let's not forget she's also a world champion in her own right, Addy. So she's coming up in weight. It's a huge ask. It's the Mount Everest of tasks that she's going to face in her career. But she believes she can do it. So, you know, belief is one thing, doing it is another.
Indeed.
And I think she's going to find herself out of her depth tonight, I believe. Once it starts getting past a couple of rounds, she may feel the extra weight, just a better quality. She's never been in with anyone anywhere near remotely as good as Katie Taylor, and that's the difference when these girls go in against Katie. Katie is so good; she's a level above, and an endurance and her approach to fight, it's all a level above to what she's facing. So I just think that will come back to Jennifer Hearn tonight.
A stat guard also includes Conor Benn. He takes on Adrian Granados. Obviously, this was supposed to headline Fight Camp Week 1. We're lucky that it now is added to this already stacked card. We want to see Conor Benn in with a guy that's going to test him, don't we? We didn't learn too much apart from his punch power against Valdez. We now want to see him go for a few rounds. Granados could give him a few rounds here. Good, hard rounds as well.
We don't want to see him in and go a few rounds, Eddie. We need to see him in a hard fight. We need to see what happens to Conor Benn when the pressure's getting put on after round 5. So we need to see something tonight. And I think Granados is the man who can do it. As long as he respects Conor early doors. Samuel Vargas did not pay Conor Benn the respect and attention he deserved in them first 3 rounds. You can't come in here and think, he's going to start slow, I'm going to have a little look at him. You've got to come in and be on it from the first second. Granados will never have faced someone like Conor Benn, who's literally trying to take your head off from the first bell goes. If he gets through them first 3 or 4 rounds, this is going to be a really hard test for Conor Benn tonight. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic fight. Don't forget as well, we've got an IBO lightweight strap between what I think is going to be a really good fight. Giovanni Straffon versus Maxi Hughes. A really good Cinderella story with Maxi Hughes. We've got Ebony Bridges versus Malise Gangloff. We've got a fantastic undercard before the bell as well. If you haven't already signed up and you want to know how to do it, this is how you do it.
So, Matchroom fights are on Dazn now?
Yeah, D-A-Z-N, Dazn. You can find it in the App Store on your smart TV. Don't worry, old fella. I'll make us a cuppa and I'll get it set up for you.
What took you so long, boy?
I'm not having that. There's no way you've installed that already.
I do know how to put a fight on, son.
It's a global sports streaming giant. That's there.
Can we just do it without him saying anything?
Look who's joined us now, chairman of Matchroom. Eddie Hearn has joined us. Eddie, I mentioned at the top of the show.
I don't like chairman.
You don't like chairman?
I know
What
that's
do you
my
want?
official title,
Yeah.
but it just makes me sound old.
Just Eddie Hearn?
Do you know what I mean? What sort of younger
It
guy
might
is a
be like
chairman?
the
Do you know what I
boss.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
my old man's a chairman, but that's me. So
Here's
he's
your title,
president.
Eddie.
I mean, I just think he wanted to be president.
President sounds really good, doesn't it? President sounds really good. Eddie, I mentioned at the top of the show that we've gone through the gears now. Fight camp was really good, but a really small crowd. We're back to what Matchroom does best now. Fights in stadiums, 20,000 fans here. This is going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah, fight camp is unique. You know, it's a unique experience, and of course, there at the HQ, this is, like you said, this is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
And this is proper. I mean, I said to someone the other day, I'm not seeing any cards like this. I mean, you include Smith Fowler in Liverpool coming up, and what will be as well, Dillian Whyte, October the 30th. You're just not seeing cards of this quality, of this depth, and to do it here outdoors, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm excited about the whole card. I was listening to you guys rattling them off there, and of course, Josh Warrington, very nervous for him. I was with the Mexican team last night, just having a chat in reception. I said to them, "What do you think?" They went, "Oh, he's going to destroy him." I mean, not even. They think there is
not even
absolutely
blinking
no
with it,
chance that Josh Warrington can win this fight, and he's a betting favourite, by the way. He's going to have to do something special, but if anyone can do it, and if you ever needed an environment to do it, this is it here tonight.
That's what we've mentioned, isn't it, Tony? The fact that he's got his 20,000 fans back. This is what he normally fights, right? Yeah. Look, behind the closed doors was difficult for him. We know that. He doesn't get up for it. That's what he said. He will get up for this one.
He's got to be. This is a defining fight in Josh Warrington's career. At this stage right now, it's the most important fight of his career so far, and he's got to perform. As I've said before, he's someone who's not going to completely change his plan. I don't believe as I said, we've talked about the Ruiz fight and AJ fight. He hasn't got that in his makeup yet. Well, he hasn't shown us he's got it to stick in the ring and just put someone on a jab. Josh Warrington's defence is his actual offence. He takes away what you do by just making you work so hard it makes you not want to throw anymore. And he's got to show something different tonight, because against Mauricio Lara, he can't stay in front of him and punch. If this guy tags you again, he's going to hit you. And I've said it numerous times this week. I believe if he's going to win tonight, which I think he can, he's going to have to get off the floor.
I was thinking that about Joshua and Ruiz. People talking about similarities. I think technically there aren't a lot of similarities, particularly between AJ and Warrington. Warrington's best attributes is his engine and his work rate and his punch output. So therefore, what you can't do is just box off the jab and move and run around the ring. Lara's going to stalk you, he's going to walk you down, he's going to work the body. I think Josh Warrington has really got to work the body in this fight. If you watch that first fight, there were times when Lara would just take a step back and just lower his elbow after a body shot. But to do that, you've got to be in range and letting your hands go. And that was the same with Ruiz when he boxed Joshua. Every time, Ruiz waits as Lara will wait, and every time you throw, he throws with you. So Lara's thinking, I'll take 5 or 6 to land 2 or 3, not a problem. And every time they engage, they're going to be both throwing, and it's going to be one of those fights. I know, sitting there, it's just, you know, every time they engage,
don't blink,
it's danger.
The thing with AJ and Ruiz, as I said before, is I remember going into the fight and saying AJ is going to box his head off, he's going to use his legs and he's going to use his jab, and everyone said he's never done that before, and I was like, he has. He done it against Joseph Parker. Why have you all forgot how good he was against Joseph Parker? With Warrington, I've never seen him do this. So he can't adapt them tactics. It simply won't work for the first time overnight, and he can't do it against a puncher of the magnitude of Lara. He's going to have to get stuck in, Eddie spot on, dig the body. There was times in that first fight where Lara got nailed a couple of times down the stairs, took a step back, needed a bit of a breather. The thing that he's going to be careful of is Lara last time wasn't late notice, but he didn't have 12 weeks like he's had now.
4 weeks.
So this time he's had 12 weeks. Yeah. So when he gets hit down the stairs, he's going to be like, just watch his reactions. Lara is every bit as pumped up as Josh Warrington is. He's annoyed that we're calling this a fluke. He's annoyed that we're questioning
we saw that at the weigh-in,
what he
didn't
won.
I've never seen him so agitated and angry at the weigh-in. He's ready for this one. It's going to be a fantastic main event, this.
Yeah, I keep analysing the fight over and over, and it's like, part of me, I always felt that, like, Mauricio Lara can't have just come from nowhere, right? Yeah. So I know he's good and I know he's dangerous, but he's not Juan Manuel Marquez. You know, he's not Canelo Alvarez. He's not. So he's from a group of Mexican fighters that, you know, his reputation is he's rugged, he's tough, he's strong, but he's limited. Really, that's the reality. Yeah. And styles make fights. And unfortunately, this style matchup is not ideal for Josh Warrington.
No.
That is very true. Because he always trades up, Josh Warrington, right? He always stands in close quarters and you know, like I said, trades. And that's just a horrible thing to do against Mauricio Lara. So what do? You know, he can't box off the back foot and just try and jab a move. He's going to get beaten up.
Let's be honest, he's going to have a war in there, isn't he? He's going to have a war.
Well, if he does,
but he
it's
can't.
gonna,
He can't, because then he's going to get stopped again. He's got to tire him out. He's got to make Mauricio Lara fight at a pace that is uncomfortable for him, and that is very hard, bear in mind, to do to a Mexican fighter, because these guys are used to fighting at a pace consistently all the time.
I said to his manager last night, I said, yeah, but, you know, they were going, yeah, but when Warrington gets in front of the crowd, he will want to stand and fight. And I said, yeah, but you don't know what your guy's going to think when he steps out here in front of 20,000.
He's never felt this
He
before.
said to me, you don't know where he comes from. He said, where he comes from, he said, he's just trying to survive on the street, going from one road to the other. This doesn't bother him. And I thought, oh, blimey. I was hoping.
Similar to your upbringing,
Very similar. You know, listen, Brentwood. Listen, back
Brentwood used to be a bit naughty.
Back in the 90s, Brentwood was bad. Seriously, really bad. I mean, you know, there were days you had to go to another village to get the hay. You know, but on a serious note, like these people, like they're just. But I don't agree with that. I'm not so sure. Like he's got to make, and for people who don't know, there's the ring walk through the main stand there to the ring. For the main event, they walk all the way down the back of that stand, down to the stand at the end. The fireworks go off, the pyrotechnics go off. There'll probably be a few beers flying around as well.
Yeah.
It won't be pleasant for
Who's
Mauricio
walking first? Who's walking second?
Warrington's walking first.
Oh,
right? So, you know, I mean, again, it's good and bad. The good news for Warrington is that he can see Lara get to experience that. The bad news is he's in the ring for a little bit longer. Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be chilly, but that's
he's the home fighter walking first.
Because he lost.
Of course. This is what proper promotional outfits do. They give the right to the man who's won. If this was somewhere else on another bill, they would make their man walk second. Now, I know that.
Josh has the home corner. It's his hometown.
But he's walking
But
first.
I just feel that also, when you're talking about the fight, yeah, you should walk first. You just got beat.
Yeah, of course.
And that's and you've got to have that mentality. You're a challenger right now.
Yes.
You've got to come back. And the reason that he lost is because he was complacent. And he won't be complacent walking first. And it's just part of the feeling of, I need to get this back. This win for me is like winning the world title. And I'm excited to see Lara experience it, because I know he comes from a tough background, but I don't think he's going to enjoy it like they think he will.
You mentioned complacent there. Someone who's never complacent is Katie Taylor. She takes on Jennifer Hearn for all the marbles in the lightweight division. Another big fight for Katie Taylor. 4 fights in 12 months as well, so she's been really busy. We don't normally see fighters busy like this, apart from Canelo. In fact, there's no champions that are busy like this. She's active, and that's what we love about Katie.
She's active because I don't mean this in a harsh way. She hasn't got anything else in her life that she focuses on other than her boxing.
She gives her life.
She loves her family. You know, she's extreme.
No golf like you, Tony.
No, not at all.
Don't start.
Have you seen the swing?
Yeah.
Right. But she's obviously very consistent with her faith and her family. But boxing is, she'll finish tonight. I know that tomorrow morning when I see her in the hotel, she'll be asking me for the next date, right? So that's what she's all about. Jennifer Hearn is a former world champion. She's a mandatory challenger. She's also a big lightweight. You know, Brian Peters was saying this today. Katie Taylor is really, she probably should have started at super feather. She goes in the ring at about 136, 137 pounds. She puts 1 or 2 pounds on during the fight. Hearn will be 6, 7 pounds heavier than her tonight. I'd like to see Katie stand in the pocket and engage a little bit more. You know, early on in her career, she was doing that a lot more. You know, she was dropping opponents with left hooks to the body and stuff like that. She's also very, very good, very fast. And I do think she'll get the stoppage tonight, actually.
That's what I think will be the difference.
I think she's, and the story, it sounds like something I'd make up, but her daddy's from Leeds. She's supported Leeds United all her life. She's going to get an unbelievable reception here tonight.
You know what people are going to do that, Eddie? Sorry to interrupt you. People are going to say, what next for her? We saw you put on the 140-pound female tournament. Yeah. They all want Katie Taylor. Jessica McCaskill is just over there. She knows she wants the rematch. Do you think that, though? Do you think what next? Are you planning out the next 12 months?
I'm planning the end of her career to that point.
Yeah.
You know, and my interpretation of the end of her career is very different to Katie's. You know, I would love to see her retire undefeated as the greatest fighter of all time. She will want to go on for another 3 or 4 years because she feels fresh. She loves the sport. In her head, why retire? I feel great. I'm winning. and I love what I do. So I look at it like now, and I look at Hearn, and then I look at a fight before the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Jessica McCaskill there, of course, undisputed at 147 pounds.
Yeah.
That's just beating the main woman,
Exactly.
not once,
Twice.
twice.
And probably gave Katie one of her toughest fights.
Yes.
That was at 135 pounds when Jessica was really a novice as well. The 140 pound tournament winner will be a big play. Katie Taylor against Chantel Cameron is a big fight if they're both undisputed. And of course Amanda Serrano, that's the biggest fight in women's boxing. That's not a fight that I see happening until March or April next year, but you know, I look at Serrano, I look at Cameron, I look at McCaskill, you know, and then you're sort of another year down the line. And if she can be successful against all those, you know, what else is there to do? But she loves what she does, and I get a real buzz out of just watching people, you know, show her respect and adulation because she deserves it so much. And I think back to her debut at Wembley many years ago when everyone was a bit,
Not sure.
Women's boxing,
She's
not
grown
really
the
for me, I
sport.
don't know. And after that night, even through one fight, they walked around and said, wow, she was amazing. And since then, every time she has boxed, the fans watching, the fans in the arena have gone, she's amazing. And she entertains, and she's just incredible to watch.
She's
Very
grown
special
women's
fighter.
boxing.
She really
She's
has.
grown
She's
the-
taken it to
she's-
another level,
exactly.
right? Someone who might take it to another level over here, and we hope is going to grow, is Conor Benn. Obviously takes on Adrian Granados, supposed to be headlining Fight Camp week 1. We're lucky to get it here now in front of this crowd. Great one, and we see what Conor... We want Granados to give him a few rounds.
I'm
That's what
nervous
we
about
want.
this fight. I'll be honest. Like Granados, when Granados came for the first time, he was confident. He's got a worrying air of confidence about it this time. Like I think that helped him because he flew over, he experienced the bubble, and you know, and now he comes back and he feels more comfortable. He just seems really confident. You know, Conor, of course, coming back from COVID. I wouldn't say we won't know how he's affected by that because he's been absolutely crushing it in the gym. You know, but yeah, exactly. Can't believe he's brought a T-shirt out.
Yes.
But I'm worried about that fight because I think in this environment as well, Conor is a bit crazy, you know, and he's got to be really disciplined tonight. I don't want to see anything reckless, and this is the kind of place that can make you reckless. You know, when he comes out to Ready or Not and Dangerous, and he's just got to stay calm. I look at the odds for that fight, and I think he's like a 20 to 1.
They don't make
All
sense,
in the
do they?
first 5 rounds.
They don't make
Yeah, I
sense.
know.
It's all in the first 5 rounds. If Granados comes out and shows him the respect that Samuel Vargas did not early in the first few rounds, then believe you me, after 4 to 5 rounds, Conor's in a really hard fight because this boy has been in with some big names. He's taken some stick off some really good fighters. He'll be there.
Broner in 2017.
Yeah.
I know, well,
Didn't get
split
it.
decision lost, but I thought he won that fight.
But I think what he will do is I think he'll box off the back foot.
Yeah.
I think he'll try and be cute for the first 3 or 4 rounds.
For the
He definitely won't come forward in the first 3 or 4 rounds and want to have a war. Did look a little bit nervous at the weigh-in, I felt, and at the press conference, I don't know, but maybe that was just mine. I was nervous when Conor Benn was talking to me, to be honest with you. So like, I think it's just a standard thing. He's been walking around the hotel. I mean, you know, I think just people are just leaving him alone.
He's confident, Granados. He's got an inner, quiet confidence about himself. And I think he gets that purely from who he's mixed with.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You know, he thinks that Conor's nowhere near the level of Showtime, Sean Porter or Danny Garcia. So he believes that he's going to go in there and he's going to show this kid tricks that he's never seen before. And listen, by going on, just looking at it on paper, he could do. It's just all about them first 5 rounds.
I'm so happy you mentioned Sean Porter there. Let's have a little bit of segue away from events here. Sean Porter versus Terence Crawford, a huge fight in the welterweight division. I'm hearing that you might put your hand in that one.
I was supposed to. I was sending someone to Puerto Rico to bid for that fight on Friday, and then they cancelled the purse bids on Thursday. So they extended the negotiation period.
Okay.
Basically, what happened...
They hear that you're coming?
Yeah, maybe. But I don't... Look, there's a lot of players in the market at the moment that could be bidding a lot of money for that fight, and we're one of them. But whether our bid is sufficient enough, I guess we may or may not find out. But it's interesting in that dynamic because you've got a fighter with the PBC, you've got a fighter with Top Rank. They won't really want it to go to purse bids.
No.
And that's why when you extend the negotiation period, both sides have to agree to that extension. So they would have collectively written to the WBO and say, we'd like another week.
Okay.
And then, you know, but the fighters, on the other hand, are probably secretly thinking,
I want to see
first bid wouldn't be the end of the world, would it?
Yeah,
you know,
I want to see what I'm getting.
I think maybe they'll give them another week, and then the fighters might even say, "Okay, let's see who bids what." It's quite exciting, first bids.
All right.
But not if you lose them.
Eddie, we could talk to you all afternoon, but Ali Drew's out there with someone who's hoping to do some good things on the undercard. Ali, who are you with?
Yes, now I'm here with Jack Bateson, who is getting ready to fight. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. Buzzing to be here in Leeds and just excited for everyone to turn up and get the thing going.
Yeah, because you're a Leeds boy. Yeah. How good is it to actually be in your hometown fighting?
It's amazing, yeah. Like you say, Leeds born and bred, and I fought in Leeds a few times. I fought at Ellen Road. This is just giving me flashbacks of the Ellen Road fight when Josh fought Lee Selby, and it's going to be another special night, another big one for Leeds.
And how are you feeling about your fight? You're looking to go 14-0. How are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm feeling really confident. I've had a great camp. I'm just excited to get in there and, shine on the big stage. This is where I want to be. So hopefully after this fight, there'll be plenty more to come from me.
Yeah, you get through this fight. What is it you're looking for? Are you wanting to step up, look for those titles?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 14-0. Ideally, this sort of fight would have been a title fight on a big card like this, but I know the titles are to come in the near future. So let's get this out the way and I can focus on working my way up the ranks.
And obviously, on the undercard of Josh Warrington, there is no atmosphere like a Josh Warrington fight.
No.
How special is that?
Special. I've experienced it a few times, but we're blessed to be from a city like Leeds. Leeds do truly get behind us, and I'm just excited for everyone to experience it. There's some great fighters on the card who have been in some big nights, but they won't get much bigger than this, so it's going to be special.
What other fights on the card are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, I'm so excited for them all. I mean, you've got the likes of Conor Benn, so exciting. Katie Taylor, undisputed. Obviously, Josh is in a real tough rematch. It's going to be a redemption for him, I'm sure. And there's Maxi Hughes in his world title fight. So, it's a special card. It's one that I'm very proud to be a part of. I just want to make sure that it's my name that's being spoke about after it all.
Well, we'll leave you to your preparations, getting your hands wrapped, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.
Good luck to Jack Bateson in his fight this afternoon. Remember, that is before the bell. Eddie is stuck with us just because, obviously, he noticed the wonderful Dazn boxing punch bag. He asked me and Tony what our scores were. Can I tell you what our scores were? Not lying here, by the way. 9-6-2, 9-22. Eddie, feel free to step up and have a go.
So that wasn't on camera?
No.
All right, I'm going to take my shirt off.
You're taking the shirt off?
I'll take my jacket off.
Actually,
I'm definitely not taking my shirt off.
I was going to say,
If I was taking my shirt off, subscribers would just disappear. Right.
All right.
Okay.
What, we left-handed, right-handed?
We're going to hit a straight right hand down the pipe.
Let me do it for you.
Okay.
Let's see what you got. No pressure on this one. Over 900, surely.
900?
Over 900, surely.
Heavy-handed, that.
That is a lovely right hand.
You're over 900. Well done, Ed.
What'd you get?
Eddie, out the way. I got 950.
What'd you get?
I got 922.
What about you? Oh, 920.
I got 922.
Okay, I beat that then.
You beat that. You done well. You done
I didn't beat the bomber's left hook.
You didn't beat the bomber's left hook. I think Tony wants to have one go as well.
Tone.
Quickly. Go on, Tone.
That was the equaliser. His left hook was the... I'm going to get out of the way.
Oh, can I
Ring off. Ring off.
Whatever you need to do.
watch
Your
off
left
as well.
hook was always the equaliser.
That's not going to register as good.
Oh, please let me beat him.
You've beat that.
I think...
Slow down.
You've won.
I think Eddie Hearn has beaten the bomber, Tony Benn.
What did I get?
Oh.
We're going to leave them two to play with
You
this
got
one.
9.
This is Jabs now. Adam Cattrall, Nick Pete as they look ahead to the main card.
Shoulder.
Let's throw some jabs. Welcome back to Jabs with the Fight Disciples here on Dazn. Hope you are well. I'm Adam Cattrall, Nick Pete with me, as always, to get stuck into the hot boxing topics. And there's nothing hotter than Headingley this weekend, my man, for a stadium show that is, without any shadow of a doubt, going to bring some serious atmosphere. And the man that is bringing that party is Josh Warrington. Nick, in a must-win fight. We saw what happened last time out against Warrington Lara. It was a major upset. We commended him for chucking his belt in the bin. He was chasing the big fights. A major bump in the road came along. He's got to get back on track this weekend.
He's got to, because he's at a stage in his career now where he can't afford a second loss, certainly against an opponent like Lara, who prior to the first fight was certainly not right up there in the top of the rankings. He gave up his world title belt, let's not forget, to take on Lara in a stepping stone fight to bigger fights down the line. And talk about best laid plans going wrong. It couldn't have gone any worse for Josh Warrington. He's kind of got no choice. He's got to get a win over Lara to get back to where he once was and move forward. And I tell you what, if there's anywhere to do it, if there's anywhere he can do it, it's back home in Leeds in front of a stadium, because the atmosphere is going to be something very special.
One thing that I've liked about this is that on social media he has been talking a little bit to Anthony Joshua, a man that obviously suffered a major upset defeat to the hands of Andy Ruiz. He totally changed his game plan for the second fight. Do you see Josh doing something very similar this time around?
I don't really, because I don't know whether he's kind of got that versatility, and plus I think AJ just was, everything went wrong in New York against Andy Ruiz. The issue I've got here, I think it's such a bigger fight than that for Warrington, because AJ was it was an off night, and we can say that about Warrington too. It was an off night first round against Lara, but AJ dropped Andy Ruiz and kind of maybe relaxed too much. Maybe he took his foot off the gas, and Ruiz just exploded, caught him once, hit him. AJ was never able to recover. The Lara fight was different with Warrington, because let's be totally honest here, Lara beat him up. Lara came from nowhere and beat up Josh Warrington, put a systematic beat down on him. The fight probably should have been stopped a lot earlier than when it was actually stopped. Anywhere outside the UK, it gets stopped a lot sooner. And I don't know what that's taken out of Josh Warrington's game. I think that this fight is so much bigger for that reason, because I tell you what, Lara's coming with far more confidence than he had the first time around.
It's going to be an absolute cracker. That's obviously top of the bill. The Leeds hometown hero in front of his fans, but they're going to be treated to something quite special as well, because there's a couple of other fights on here that have got me going too, and I'm going to turn our attention towards Conor Benn. We're big fans of Conor. Probably, and this is a big statement to be making, the most improved fighter in the UK over the last 2 years. What do you think?
He's certainly right up there, you know. You'd have to say that, because 2 years ago we were talking about him maybe getting to British title level, maybe Commonwealth title level, and now look at him, you know, we're literally speaking about him in the same breath as Virgil Ortiz and yes, we're British, we're getting maybe a little bit carried away, but why not? The performances he's been producing have been at the standard of those two guys, and we've seen Virgil on Dazn a couple of weeks ago. He made his latest statement, reinforcing once again what a sensational prospect he is. I wouldn't be surprised if Conor Benn did exactly the same thing this weekend against another opponent that has got so much experience but will look like a sensational scalp on that Conor Benn record.
Glad you said that, because I remember being at the York Hall watching him against Cedric Pernot, and I was thinking to myself, what is going to happen with this Conor Benn trend? Because there's lots of pressure, obviously, when you're carrying the Benn name. He was hyped up right at the start of his career as the second coming of the Destroyer, and he was kind of learning on the job, wasn't he? He doesn't have the amateur pedigree that a lot of other people do have, and he was in front of our eyes, learning and growing as a man as well as a fighter. The Pernod fight was kind of maybe that marker in the road for a lot of fans, where they thought, well, if he gets to British title level, fair play to him. He's gone away, he's dusted himself off, and he has been absolutely sensational over the last 2 years. The only other fighter that has made me feel like this of recent times is Lawrence Okoli, a guy that, okay, he's come out of the Olympics with serious pedigree, but I've watched him a couple of times and thought, can he get to the top level? I don't know. His development under Shane McGuigan has been absolutely sensational, and Conor Benn, he's put the graft in, he's working as hard as he could possibly work, and the performance is now starting to shine in the ring. I'm fully anticipating something special against Granados, and then, mate, all aboard the train. Let's go to America. Let's get on there. Let's have something crazy with someone like an Adrian Broner. What do you reckon?
Oh, 100%. Sign me up. That's the perfect next opponent for him if he comes through against Granados. And listen, he's Nigel Benn's son, so we know there's some fight in him. We know that he's made of a certain type of stuff. But he hasn't had Nigel Benn's upbringing. He's been brought up on silk sheets. He's had everything that life can offer him. He's had all the, financial things that most fighters never benefit from. Most fighters are working class kids. He hasn't had that. The fact that he's able to not only get to the level he has now, but just keep raising the bar on where this potential can go, where this journey can actually end. When you've come from money, it's just phenomenal to see. And listen, I will no longer put a ceiling on Conor Benn. I don't know how far he can go. I don't care about talking about him in the same voice as some of the best welterweights in the world. Let's just get him there and let's see him do his stuff, because so far, every time he put a hurdle in his way, not only does he jump over it, he leaps about 3 more in the process. I'm the biggest Conor Benn fan, and I tell you what, his addition to this card the weekend, boom, makes it a card not to be missed, absolutely.
It'd be good, and I'll tell you one thing that I'm excited to see as well. It is the one and only Katie Taylor. Not only is she a Leeds United fan, but former international footballer herself in front of a stadium. She absolutely deserves to be on this, doing her thing. and delivering in front of all these fans. I'll go as far as to say, mate, that what she has done, not just for female boxing over the last couple of years since her amateur pedigree in the Olympics, but what she's just done for sport in general in Ireland has been truly sensational. And she's rightfully amongst the conversation for the greatest Irish boxers of all time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. She's been phenomenal, you know, for the sport across the board. And McGuigan, Frampton, Collins, you know, all the modern greats. She's absolutely in the same conversation with all those Irish boxers. She's deserved it every step of the way. And listen, it's Katie Taylor. She's defending all the titles. It's a legit contender. I love it, man. Give me more. You know what I'm going to say now? Give me more. And by that I mean no more 2-minute rounds. Give me 3-minute rounds for Katie Taylor. She's one of the best champions in the world. It's a travesty that we are restricting her to 20 minutes. Give me 36 minutes, because you know, with 36 minutes, we will get viral moments. That's what a career is missing. Viral moments like every other female boxer. Give these girls at the top of the sport, at the very top, the 36 minutes they deserve. And then you will see women's boxing go to a whole new level once again.
It's incredibly patronising, isn't it? At the weekend just gone, we saw Amanda Serrano put on a great performance. It was good, it was nice, it was good. Did it get you on the edge of your seat? No, it didn't. We've seen Clarissa Shields, a girl that is going through the weight divisions like a dose of salt and becoming undisputed champion all over the place. Again, has she had those viral moments, mainly more so on the microphone than actually in the ring? And then you talk about Katie Taylor, the Olympic champion and the undisputed champion at her weight category. Yeah, of course, we want to see her in with the likes of Serrano and what have you, but you're right, those moments to really grow the sport, to capture the sport. Let's be straight, we are thirsty for violence. That's where we're at. As fight fans, that's what we're here for. In the morning after a fight, you go on your social media feed, what are the moments that are going around the world? It is those knockouts. That's what we're here for, and you're not getting those in the female game. Now, there'll be people amongst us watching this going, yeah, but the science says. No, mate. The science doesn't say that, because all the scientific procedures and scriptures that are being used at this moment in time to stop the girls fighting for 3 minutes comes from different sports. It comes from rugby. It comes from horse racing. We've got MMA, for crying out loud, that you can use as a direct comparison, where the girls are fighting for the same amount of time as the boys, whether it be over 3 minutes, 3 rounds, or over 5 rounds, and they're fighting for 5-minute rounds. These girls can do it, especially the elite girls like Katie Taylor. Let's stop patronising them and give them the opportunity not only to have the viral moments, mate, but to earn more dough. Because the bigger the superstar that they come, the more money that'll be in their back pocket.
Yeah, I guarantee. That's absolutely right. And I know for a fact, Katie Taylor, do you think she's training her entire camp doing 2-minute rounds? Of course she isn't. She's training 3-minute rounds like everybody else in the gym. And I think every female boxer on the planet's in the same boat. And yes, we haven't got that depth in each weight division to allow so many fights and to do 12 rounders for the likes of British titles and things like that. I get it. But if you're talking about girls who are Olympians, gold medalists, basically girls who've been professionals before they even become professionals.
Undisputed world champions, mate.
Exactly. You're asking them to do 10 twos when there's guys on this card as well and on other cards with less than 10 fights experience who are doing 10 threes. Come on, do me a favour. It's time to grow the sport. It's time to allow the women to not only to take the spotlight, and that's something that we've been doing at the Zone, something that Eddie himself has been brilliant at promoting women's boxing to the top of cards and giving them the spotlight that they deserve. The next step has got to happen. They've got to do 3-minute rounds. And listen, if you don't like seeing girls get knocked out, then maybe you're watching the wrong sport, because they deserve to be here just as much as the men. And they deserve to have the viral knockouts just like the men too.
Look at that. It won't be Jabs with the Fight Disciples on the Zone without a bit of a rant. Listen, you're in for a great night of fights, some sensational fights that we've just previewed there. We'll catch you next time.
Yes, joining me now is the one Matrix, Mally Wright, who is making your professional debut tonight. How are you feeling?
Excited, can't wait to jump in the ring and show what I've got to work with.
And obviously, you're a Leeds boy, you're here in Leeds tonight. How good is it to make your pro debut in your home city?
Leeds man, but it's great, it's amazing. I can't believe it. I used to live up the road. I live about a 5-minute drive from here, so being able to make my pro debut on Leeds on such a great card, with my hero Josh Warrington, with Zahid Hussain, who I went to school with, and Jack Bateson, who I've known since I was a kid, is just amazing, and hopefully I get performance of the night.
And originally, you weren't looking to turn pro. I don't think it was a sort of career path for you. But what's changed now?
I was doing the amateur scene. I was doing quite well with that. I was in the ABAs. It's just how it got quite stagnant with the ABAs and stuff. And my coach, my style's always suited more the professional ranks, and it was just time to turn over. I feel like I can make a statement in the light heavyweight division and progress through the ranks.
What can people expect from you in the light heavyweight division in the pro ranks?
Reaction and response. That's what I aim to do. React and respond, and showcase a lot of skills, a lot of talent, speed, power, footwork. I just want to put it all together on the night.
And it's a stacked division domestically. Are you excited to get in the mix now?
Yeah, it'd be great to get in the mix with them guys. I've checked the rankings the other day. I've sparred probably the 5 out of the top 10 in the light heavyweights and cruiserweights, and I feel comfortable sparring those guys. I don't feel out of my depth. I'm not aiming at any specific names. I just want to get the British title, so whoever's got it at the time, hopefully that's mine.
And tonight, obviously, we've got Josh Warrington back in action. It's the rematch. How do you see that going? Do you think it's going to be revenge or repeat?
I'm going for revenge. We've seen what Josh is working with. I've seen him in the gym. He's looking good. All he needs to worry about is us guys putting on the good performances, and if he sticks to his boxing, sticks to the game plan, he'll school Lara all day long. So definitely revenge.
How good is it to see someone like Josh Warrington in the gym, you know, inspiring you? You called him your hero.
Yeah, I've been around Josh for a number of years now, probably maybe 10 years. When I used to do the amateur scene, he used to come, we used to go for walks around the block, he'd give me a little pep talk. So just seeing his progression from British level to world level is amazing. And what he's done for the city, like, it's only Josh that could make an event like this possible, so can't wait.
Well, the best of luck and enjoy it. You only get one professional debut.
Thank you, it's the one. Let's do this.
Girl, you are something else. Just like your hero Flojo, you are never gonna fit any cookie cutter mold. And you know what? It's okay to be different, Jess. To do your own thing, to do many, many, many things. I don't feel like I'm writing this letter to a child because real soon you're gonna have to take on stuff only adults should. Remember these moments because one day you'll use them to help millions of other girls who look to you for inspiration. There is a great stage waiting for you, not the theater that you love, nor the churches that mom preaches at, but the ring under the brightest lights, the biggest venues, and the most glamorous crowds. Those shoes on your feet will have to last you a long time, but keep walking in your own path, and one day, you'll be able to afford new shoes every day. The journey you're on is gonna be bumpy. It's not gonna be pretty, but that's just the way you like it. Love, Jessica McCaskill, 2-weight champion of the world.
Wonderful poem written by the current 147-pound champion, Jessica McCaskill. Jess, I saw you getting emotional as you saw that piece. That was written by yourself, right? I mean, It's impressive. And it shows people that, you know, if you follow your dreams and your paths and you work hard and you're dedicated to your craft, you can achieve it all when you have.
Yeah, you can achieve anything, and that's a lot of the message that I try to share with anybody that I talk to, but especially the youth that I talk to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it like being over here in the UK? You're going to see 20,000 here very soon. It must be nice to come over.
It's nice to be able to have the luxury to travel and to just, you know, pick up and go whenever you want. I think that's a lot of what I've worked for my whole life is the comfort to be able to do things like that and show other people that you can do the same thing.
How's life been since the Cecilia Brækhus big win? I almost felt like you've gone from the hunter to the hunted. Right?
Yes.
There's a few girls that I saw in the hotel, 140-pound champions that want you. There's girls that want to fight you now, and it must be weird mentally to kind of switch from that, or do you still consider yourself the hunter?
I still consider myself the hunter because we're looking for big fights, you know, things that people haven't done. We have history to make, so I will always have that mindset. But it is funny to see people where we've reached out a long time ago, said, hey, we want to fight, and they said no, and now I have all the belts, so of course they're knocking at my door.
It's amazing. First of all, the poem is beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
It shows that you have many great talents. It's not just punching girls in the face, but how do you feel about where you are now and the position that you're at? Because, you know, you're undisputed unified champion. You're now poster girl for other girls out there. You're such an influence and figure. What do you plan to do with it, and who do you want to face next?
It's a little bit of an awkward position because ever since I started working with Rick Ramos, my trainer and manager, he was like, we're going to go fast. I started boxing at about 24, and so I've accomplished all of this in such a short time. So now we've reached the top, and now we're looking for a new glass ceiling to break. So we're looking for big names, history to make, maybe crossover fights. One of the main reasons we came over here is to let Katie know she can't run and she can't hide. So there's always, names out there.
Yeah, that was a fight you guys had back in 2017. It's a completely different Jessica McCaskill now. Skill set, even the mindset is completely changed.
Yes.
What do you want next, potentially? Is it a Katie Taylor coming up to maybe 140, you coming down a little bit? That kind of crossover fight against maybe an Amanda Nunes, a Chris Cyborg? What are we looking for?
All of those options sound amazing. All of those options we're down for. I leave a lot of that up to Rick Ramos. He's my manager. I trust him. He's completely transparent. We have a great relationship. So whatever he thinks is good for me at the time, we will do. But I want to stay busy. I want to keep fighting. I don't want to just, win trophies and then sit at home and look at them. I want to fight more and more and more.
You're here tonight. Is this a scouting mission, basically, on Katie? And what are you expecting to see? And if you see what you expect, what did you plan to do about it?
Well, sometimes you got to throw a little bait out there. So if people want to hunt, I'm putting myself out there and letting them know I'm not running from anybody. But of course, I'm looking to see what kind of a performance that Katie puts on tonight, see where she's at, and we're going to see, if that fight can happen.
What is the difference between 2017 and now, apart from it being 4 years, in terms of a fighter?
It's a lifetime of boxing.
Yeah, do you look at Katie as a better fighter now, or has she slipped a little bit because of those tough fights against Delphine Pursuit and Tasha Jonas? You've obviously got better.
Right.
Where are both of you?
I think she's in the same spot. I think I was the hardest fight that she had. She mentioned that she called 20 girls and nobody stood up to fight. And so we jumped in. Rick said, you didn't call us, and we made that fight happen. And I think that was her first real fight. From there, she hasn't really gotten any better. She still has bad defense, kind of tries to play an offense as her defense. Myself, I've added a lot more pressure, a lot more boxing, a higher punch count, a lot more muscle, because we've gone up from 135 to 140 to 147. So we have a lot of room to fluctuate and figure out what we want to do.
What's your better weight? What are you comfortable at? 147?
Doesn't
it's
matter.
big. That's your highest, right?
Yeah, that's the highest that I fought at a pro level. People don't realize that I fought in the 40s and the 50s as an amateur. So, we let people think what they want. If they don't have the knowledge, that's on them. But, we're prepared for just about anything. We have a great team, and strength and conditioning is on point. Nutrition is on point. So we're ready.
I mentioned a bit earlier, just off camera, about that second performance against Cecilia Brackus. I thought the first fight was close, right? I mean, it really was. Maybe a couple of rounds in it.
Yeah.
The second was a shutout, though,
Yeah.
against someone that's dominated female boxing for many, many years. You must watch that performance and just smile, because for me it was perfect. It was almost perfect.
I don't watch a lot of my fights.
You've watched that one.
I have seen it. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing, but Rick makes me.
Shall I tell you how it goes?
Tell me the ending. Rick makes me do homework, and so I have to watch some things, and he'll tell me a lot of what he expected and what I did and what he didn't like. So I mean, right after the fight, it's not all like, hey, good job, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you missed this. We're working, and we're trying to pinpoint things down, and that's the only way that you get big fights and how you succeed from those big fights. So we worked on a lot of the punch count. We took our 3-minute training down to 2 minutes and tried to speed everything up. We tried to make sure that the accuracy was on point, and we just trained a little differently. And so thanks to Rick Ramos, everything came through with flying colors.
It's a credit to Rick and yourself, the speed that you've evolved in boxing, from going back to the first Katie Taylor fight to now.
Yeah.
You're a completely different fighter.
Yeah.
What is it that is separating you and the reasons you're evolving so much? I know Rick is a fantastic coach and trainer, but you're the girl who's putting in the work.
Yeah.
What do you feel that it has got you, progressed you so quickly?
I think it's kind of like the key and the lock situation. He needed the key, the person that wanted to really do this and really dedicate time and sacrifice a lot of things, time, money, my physique, everything. And he had the plan, and so we just put it together and it worked.
Can I ask you an honest question of female boxing? So where is it now? Because from the outside looking in, I think it's getting better, right? We are starting to see big fights. Girls are making good money, which is important as well. Where is it for you, though?
It's not quite there yet, but it has definitely there's been a massive change. And we have Summer Lynn at 147 pounds in our gym. She's 6-0 right now. And just to see, her first payday versus my first payday, and it was like double, you can't, feel any kind of way about it. You have to be happy and proud, because those were the changes that I wanted to make for the girls that are coming up now. So I'm seeing, her fight for her first UBO title, her first 10 rounds, but the depth of female boxing still isn't there. A lot of people have the controversial talk about 2 minutes versus 3 minutes, and you risk a lot of injury, you risk suspension, you risk shallowing out that pool even more. So I just feel like we're not quite there for a lot of things, but it's a massive difference from where it came from.
I know you don't watch your fights back, but you get the chance to watch boxing in front of 20,000. What are you looking forward to on this card? Warrington Lara, a lot of people are talking about that one. How do you see it going?
You could see just the tension from the weigh-in.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I don't side one way or the other. I just want to see a good performance and a good fight. I'm rooting for Adrian Granados. He's from Chicago, so we're looking to see a good show there. He's got a lot of experience, but Conor Benn has a lot of knockouts, so I know Adrian can outbox him if he stays focused. Sometimes we like to get in there, we like to scrap, and that can get you in trouble. So hopefully Adrian just keeps his mind right, and we're rooting for him all the way.
Can I ask you, obviously, look, this is moving away from events here. Oscar Valdez, look, you're a big outspoken about drugs in boxing. Oscar Valdez tested positive.
Yeah.
He's A sample and B sample for a diuretic. He will still fight though, September 10th.
Right.
What do you make of all this situation?
It's a sad thing to see because it can be done without anything extra, just with natural, patience and willingness and nutrition and putting the time in and the effort. So it's just scary to see that people are still kind of going off to the wrong path. And, we have a lot of team meetings. We have a lot of conversations about, extracurriculars and who you're talking to, and be careful and letting people into your camp. And so hopefully, we're getting the word across the right way, because we do have a lot of younger fighters. I think I'm the oldest one in the gym. So they can just be persuaded, and you have to make sure that they have the right mindset. Education is key.
Yeah, oldest and the best. I think that's the most important thing. Oscar Valdez has released a statement as well. We still wait to see what the WBC are going to do regarding the situation. All right, you came in, you had a look, you saw Eddie Hearn take off the jacket, you saw Tony Benn smack it as well. It's time to use the step up.
All right, let's do it.
McCaskill, let's see what you've got with the punching bag.
All right.
What we saying? Should we give you a couple of goes?
I
see how the first one goes?
Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. There's a method to my madness.
There's a method to the madness?
Yes, because you got to punch through it. So
okay, a bit of teaching for us as well.
All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready. Let's see what you got. Oh, it's going. It's going. Are we going to get 7? Are we going to get 7?
All right, we got to
I like it. I knew she was going to go again. I knew she was going to go again because everyone's
I did too much of an overhand right.
You got to hit it in the middle.
Yeah, I clipped it. I clipped it. There we go.
There you
go.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can we see that? Can we see that score? 851?
850 is good, yeah.
851?
Well, 3 is a charm. Let's do it.
Are you going to go 3? We've got one more.
Charm.
We've got one more. The champ wants one more. Champ gets one more.
There you go.
I like the kiss of the wrist as well. Ooh. Damn.
I'll take it. 858.
858. Well done, Jessica
Are you
McCaskill.
in?
I am not going. I'm not taking the jacket off either. Ali Drew then is out there with Yorkshire-based fighter Zahid Hussain takes on Hopey Price. Let's cross over to Ali Drew.
Joining me now is Zahid Hussain, who's getting ready for his fight. How are you feeling?
I feel good, excited. I've already checked out the ring. Happy with it, and can't wait to go.
And how good is it to be fighting? You're from Leeds, but how good is it to be fighting in this atmosphere? There's going to be so many fans here. It's a huge night of boxing. How good is it to be here?
I mean, words can't describe really. And to say after the pandemic as well, this is the first one since then. I'm guessing it's just going to be roaring tonight.
And how have your preparations gone for this fight? It's a local derby, should we say?
Yes, the local derby. Preps have gone well. Nothing gone wrong that I could say. I've had good sparring, imitating Hopey well. So tonight just is the night.
And you and Hopey are both from Leeds, but you don't really know each other.
No, it's a surprise really, because he's quite popular, and I never come across him till now.
What are you expecting when you get in that ring?
Just 2 boxers. It's going to be like a chess match. That's what I could expect, and me coming on top.
What is in the pipeline for you? You get through tonight, you get the win. What are you wanting?
Well, it's for the IBO International, I think. So after this, I hope we could. I've looked up the IBO World, which is vacant, so why not?
And also, apart from your fight, what other fight are you looking forward to watching, and what do you think is going to steal the show tonight?
It's got to be Josh Warrington, versus Lara. I mean, after the first fight, I'm excited to watch that. I'm glad I'm here.
Do you think it's going to be revenge or repeat?
All depends on how Josh boxes. I mean, if he boxes, it's the Josh all the way.
Well, it's going to be a good one. Best of luck tonight. Enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on here. Big up Dazn.
Stream live sport on Dazn. Just search DAZN in your app store and download Dazn to your smart TV, mobile device, computer or games console. Click on the subscription plan, sign up and create your account. Start streaming live sport, exclusive weekly content, archive events and award-winning documentary films. Only on Dazn.
There were two big upsets in the early part of the year in British boxing, so I think it's fair to say we saw Mauricio Lara beat Josh Warrington. That was a huge upset. Another big upset was James Henderson getting knocked out by this man, Giovanni Straffon. Giovanni, firstly, how are you?
No, pues muy feliz, la verdad, estar aquí otra vez de nuevo en Inglaterra y pues contento de estar con ustedes, ¿no?
We know there is a part English there, right? Your grandfather's English as well, so we're adopting you as one of our own right now.
No, pues ya ves, ahora sí como dicen por allá en mi rancho, mi tatarabuelo se saltó el charco y pues llegó ese apellido a México. Me siento orgulloso, ¿no? De también cargar sangre inglesa, sobre todo de estar aquí hoy.
I want to go back to the James Tennyson fight back in May. You came over here, not many people knew who you were. We knew James Tennyson because of the punch power, and you knocked him out in the very first round. Was you surprised about that performance as well?
No, claro, para mí no fue sorpresa. Realmente, cuando tú trabajas toda tu vida para las cosas, esto no puede ser sorpresa. La vida me ha preparado para eso y más cosas duras que vive uno, y pues realmente yo sabía que iba a ganar.
The name Straffon is now known to all of us in England. You are one of the most dangerous lightweights in the world. There is no debating that. Tennyson was looked at as someone who was on the verge of going places. Was you surprised that he didn't want no part of you in a rematch or called you again? Was you shocked at this?
No, pues es que realmente yo creo que no dejamos duda de nada. O sea, no fue una pelea pareja, yo le gané en todos los sentidos, en corazón, en espíritu y en hambre, y le demostré que yo no vine de paseo. Entonces realmente pues no tenía nada que demostrarle en una revancha, y si se diera también se lo doy para que vea que no quedan dudas, ¿no?
Was you shocked at how you disposed of him?
No, pues la verdad, créeme que en cada golpe que pegaba iba el nombre de mi familia, el nombre de mis hijas. Ellas son mi fuerza, mi fortaleza más grande, mi esposa. Entonces, créeme que yo sabía que eso se podía acabar en cualquier momento y solamente era cuestión de tiempo.
What do you expect from Maxi Hughes? It's been a good 18 months for Maxi Hughes. Had some big wins. Jonah Carroll was a big win. He said that you shouldn't run. You've said that you shouldn't run. Is it a fight we're expecting fireworks in the middle of the ring?
No, pues lo que sé es que es un gran peleador, boxea bien, ¿no? Pero pues ha hablado mucho. Ha dicho, me ha saltado ya, de hecho ha pensado ya más allá de mí, ha hablado de otros nombres, entonces yo creo que antes de hablar de otros nombres tiene que pensar que estoy yo primero, y sobre todo pues yo vengo a dar una pelea, no vengo a un maratón.
What do you want next after him? He's been speaking about names like Devin Haney. Obviously, you're very talented as well. Do you want fights against other Mexicans like Zepeda or Cruz? Or do you want some of the other 135-pounders out there, the Ryan Garcias, Javonte Davises? What do you want next?
No, ahorita el nombre que está en mi mente es Maxi Hughes. Este 4 de septiembre, ese es el nombre que tengo ahorita. Y es el que se interpone en mi camino y pues yo, como lo he dicho, es una piedra en el cual yo soy una gota de agua que le va a hacer un hueco hasta romperla y seguir mi camino.
don't blink for this one. The last time this guy was over here, it didn't last very long, did it? It's going to be a fantastic fight. Giovanni Straffon versus Maxi Hughes. Remember, the IBO lightweight straps on the line as well. The only place to watch the fight is on Dazn. If you haven't downloaded the app, what are you waiting for? Go to your Play Store or to your Google App Store and download it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
I am now joined by Hopey Price, who is just getting ready for your fight tonight. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, you know, I'm ready to go. I'm here somewhere where I've been a lot as a kid to watch the rugby, and it's surreal to finally be boxing here.
Yeah, how good is it to be fighting in your hometown of Leeds?
No, it's unbelievable. I haven't boxed here since being 14, so I'm looking forward to putting on a good show for the home fans.
And obviously your opponent is from Leeds as well. What kind of fight are you expecting tonight? A bit of a home derby?
It's a bit of a home derby, so there's going to be a lot of local eyes on it. I'm expecting, you know, he's got a good record, but I believe that I'll show him a class tonight.
And obviously you were in action at fight camp. You had a great performance. You almost got the stoppage. You're right on the final bell. How are you sort of reflecting back on that and made improvements to this fight?
You know, it was only 2 weeks ago, so it was good to get a bit of the ring rust off, because I never boxed in 6 months prior to that. But I feel like I brushed the cobwebs off, and I feel like you'll see a better performance tonight, and the distance is longer, so I can take my time a bit more.
Yeah, you're stepping up to a 10-rounder, so you've gone from a 6 to a 10, just skipping the 8.
Yeah.
What's the thought process behind that? Are you wanting that? Is that what you've wanted all along?
Yes, I wanted that all along. The last fight was actually scheduled to be an 8-rounder, which it got changed the day before to a 6. So now I've got the 10 rounds, and it's here, it's happening.
And how good do you think it's going to be, the atmosphere, before Josh Warrington comes out, but a bit later on when we've got 20,000 fans?
It's going to be electric in here tonight. You know, Leeds fans is the best fans in the world, and you'll see why tonight.
And what is your prediction for the Warrington Lara rematch?
I think Josh is going to stay composed. I think he's going to box a cleverer fight this time, and I think he'll get the win.
Is that the fight that you're looking forward to? Do you think there's any other fights that are going to steal the show tonight?
I think the Maxi Hughes fight's going to be a great fight as well, and I can see Maxi outboxing this Straffon, is it? Yeah. I think he'll outbox him tonight, yeah. Well,
best of luck. Enjoy the atmosphere, and yeah, make the most of being in your hometown.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Thanks, Hopey.
They're everywhere.
And here comes Canelo.
Defying odds, logic, reason. The game changes. We call them gifted. But that's an insult to the hard work and determination to never throw in the towel. It's the willpower and the staying power to go with the stopping power. To fight convention and bloody the nose of tradition. This is your boxing. Your way. Dazn. Game changed.
In a few hours' time, 20,000 people will be rammed into this wonderful Emerald Headingley Stadium, home of Leeds Rhinos. In a few hours' time, Josh Warrington will go in search of redemption against Mauricio Lara, the man who stunned him, let's not forget, 7 months ago, back in February, behind closed doors. Look, no love lost in the build-up, I think it's fair to say, and the Mexican, Mauricio Lara, has been talking up his chances.
Mauricio Bronco Lara.
Such a huge step up for Lara. There's no names on his record at all.
Warrington needs to be careful. He's been caught 3 times now.
Bit of a surprise start here.
He's not steady on his legs.
And he's caught again. Another one of those left hands.
He's got to step in.
Yeah, he's gone again. Left hook, and I don't think he's going to get up. Waved off all over.
Took his chance with both hands. He did exactly what was asked of him.
He's come out of nowhere to shock the world. Unbelievable from Mauricio Lara.
Nobody saw this coming. Mauricio Lara, the unheralded underdog.
Lara wins again, and the title shot is around the corner. Can Lara prove that this wasn't a fluke?
Not many people knew about Mauricio Lara, but now they do, and you seem very confident going into this rematch.
We have to think now that the third team of February's in the past, and now I'm completely 100% focused on putting on a good show on the 4th of September. I've prepared not 100%, 1,000%. Perhaps people didn't know me previously, but I'm sure they do now in certain areas, and there's going to be a repeat of what happened. There are no surprises in life.
There was no real anticipation or even bad blood in the first fight, but I've seen a couple of comments from you where you feel that Josh hasn't given you the credit for that victory. You seem to have a little bit of an edge about you in this fight.
Bueno, créame que eso fue lo que...
It really hurt me that a great champion such as him didn't give me the credit for my performance, but that's in the past now, and I really can't wait for Saturday to come along. And I'm going to show him, in his words, that we are definitely not on the same level, and I'll have my hands raised on Saturday.
Que no somos del mismo nivel, y bueno, lo reiteraré y levantaré mi mano el 4 de septiembre.
I know you're very confident, but are you confident that you win this fight by knockout on Saturday?
Yeah, that's what I've prepared for, but I've also prepared for the 12 rounds, but I can assure you that it won't go the distance.
It really is going to be an absolutely fantastic night of fights. When you look at what's on the undercard as well, this is just before the bell here. We get to see Hopey Price versus Zahid Hussain. Who doesn't like a little Yorkshire derby? Wright, we heard him speaking to Ali Drew as well. He calls himself the Matrix. We'll see if we can see a bit of Matrix from him a bit later on. Obviously, look, the main card's going to be an absolutely cracking card. It all gets underway from 7 o'clock. We get to see the likes of Ebony Bridges in action. Conor Benn versus Adrian Granados. Katie Taylor versus Jennifer Hearn. And obviously, the big one that we've all come to see. And it really is a fantastic fight, this one. Mauricio Lara versus Josh Warrington. All right, time now, though, for a bit of filling. Ali Drew has joined us. She's moved away from her Roman duties in and around this wonderfully big stadium. Ali, I'm going to start with you first. Look, loads to look forward to. I've always been saying there are 4 main events tonight, maybe more, some might say 5. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most tonight?
I think I'm looking forward to seeing Conor Benn in action. I think we need to see him get tested, go a few more rounds. I'm just looking forward to seeing what he's going to produce tonight. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, the fact that it was meant to be week 1 of fight camp. So that's probably what I'm most looking forward to seeing. But I think this is going to be just one of the best cards that's been on for a while, to be honest.
Honestly, it's almost like a don't blink card, Tony.
Yeah.
Because some of these fighters could go to sleep very early. What are you looking forward to seeing the most?
Can't wait to see Katie Taylor back in the ring. She's always value for money. She's brilliant from start to finish. Very exciting, professional, and consummate professional as well. Always performs. But listen, you can't look past the main event. There's so much at stake.
Yeah.
The most important fight of Josh Warrington's career is defining fight here. You know, he comes through this, he's back on track where he was. Yep. He loses this, he starts again. I don't believe it's completely over, but it's a long road back, and it's a very tough, challenging one, because the blueprint is out on exactly how to beat him and what you've got to do if he loses this one again.
This shows how good a card it is, because we've all gone for something different. My pick of the night is Maxi Hughes versus Giovanni Straffon. I think it's going to be an absolutely cracking fight. We remember what Giovanni Straffon did back here in May when he slept James Tennyson.
Yes.
And Maxi Hughes, it's been a bit of a Cinderella story for him as well, right? I mean, he beat Jonah Carroll, then he beat Paul Hyland, and now he gets the chance to become a world champion. And say what you want about the IBO belt, if he wins that, he's going home as a world champion. That's how good the card is. The fact that we've all chosen 3 different ones. Let's talk about Josh Warrington, Mauricio Lara, though, very quickly. Look, we all want to know what happened back in February. He gets the chance to right that wrong. Won't be easy. The weigh-ins were tasty as well. 20,000 fans here, though. That could make a massive difference.
I think that the fans make a difference for a lot of fighters, but predominantly Josh Warrington. I think he is so... He just needs the fans. He relies on them. Everything that he does is about the fact that he has a massive following and all the fans there. I mean, the fact that there's going to be 20,000 guys here, you know, they're going to be cheering him on. Guys and girls. Yeah. They're going to be cheering him on. You know, it's like a football stadium when, you know, it's like there's a football match going on. It's amazing, and I think that is the main factor for Josh Warrington. You know, he needs to maybe not overlook like he did last time, but I think the fans will just make all the difference for Warrington tonight.
Look, we've had a sneak preview of the ring entrance. We were here a couple of hours early, and it's crazy. I mean, honestly, if you haven't already downloaded the app, I don't know what you're waiting for, because you're going to miss this if you don't do it. Look, Tony, you're the boxer out of us 3. Yeah. Explain to us what Josh needs to do to get the victory tonight.
He's got to show us something that he hasn't shown us before. I don't believe his current style, the way he's won world titles and the great fighters that he's beaten, and he has beaten brilliant fighters in the likes of Carl Frampton, in the likes of Barry Awad, you know, in the likes of Lee Selby. He's beaten top fighters, but he's beaten them all the same way. He's took them to a place where his work rate is so high, it stops them doing what they were great at. He can't afford to do that with Maurizio Lara. Adi, he has to employ different tactics. I don't believe he can fight this guy head on. I believe that he has to make the pace uncomfortable by using his legs, by using tools, you know, using the jab a little bit more, but he's not going to turn into a jabbing machine overnight at a wonderful Larry Holmes style boxer. He's just got to do things differently, dig the body.
The gas tank's got to be full, isn't it?
It has, but at the same time, Maurizio Lara's a very fit fighter, and he's long, he's dangerous, he's powerful. He's got to dig the body, he's got to dig down the stairs, he's got to make it uncomfortable in there for Maurizio Lara. If he can do that, he can overcome him. I 100% believe he's going to have to get off the floor to win tonight.
All right, look, we've spoken about what we think is going to be the best fight. Who do you think is going to steal the show today? What fight do you think is really going to like... And this is the chance for you. Got the chance to steal the show in front of all the viewers on DAZN, in front of all the fans here. What fight do you think steals the show?
I mean, I think the main fight is going to be the star of the show. I think there's going to be some great fights, but I do think...
Aside from the main event,
we're going to say...
Aside from the main
So much at stake, I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
Ali.
I just don't see how it cannot be the main attraction tonight. I just don't see it. But I do think possibly Maxi Hughes may...
Straffon's exciting.
Yeah, that fight may steal the show.
Any of the before the bell fights? I mean, you've been speaking to a few of the before the bell fighters. Any of those, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, Hopey Price and Hussain, they're both local lads. I think that's going to be... They don't know of each other, which I can't get my head around. They haven't come across each other much. But that could be a good fight. They've both got good records, and I think that's probably for the before the bell fights, that one for me.
16-1 against 5-0.
16-1 against 5-0. And let's be fair to Hopey as well. He struggled a bit against Claudio Grand at fight camp. It wasn't for the knockdown. It could have been a draw as well. It was another unbeaten fight. So they're pushing him.
Yeah, listen, he's not waiting around. And it's testament and credit to his manager and coach Dave Caldwell. He obviously believes in him so much that I'll let him fight anyone. 16-1 for a 5-0 kid. That is really unheard of, to be fair, for a prospect who's 5-0 to face someone who's 16-1. I'm telling you.
They're both up for it as well. I spoke to them, both of them, and they are keen.
No one wants to lose
as well.
on their patch.
Hopey Price is so much taller than everyone normally. They're not that much difference. Like, at the weigh-in, they were very nose to nose in terms of height. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out.
The big one is no one wants to lose a domestic rivalry, because no one wants to walk out the door on Monday and be like,
the house, can you?
Yeah, you've got
to stay in the house for at least a week if you lose a domestic fight.
A week and the rest.
Yeah, a bit more.
You lose that domestic one, you're staying in for a long time.
Is that your kind of fight that could steal the show as well? If not, what's your fight, apart from the main event, that you think could steal it?
I just think Straffon's dangerous.
Yeah.
I just think the boy, what he done against Tennyson, no one's seen
Did
coming.
you hear what he said? Well, it was me and you, but
yes.
He translated. I don't know if you guys heard it just now when we spoke to Giovanni Straffon. We asked him about Maxi Hughes, and he said Maxi Hughes is the stone, and he's the water that's going to basically erode the stone. I mean, that doesn't scare you. I don't know what does.
How long and punishing does that sound?
I know. That sounds brutal. That's a brutal night ahead for Maxi Hughes. What the sounds of that.
As soon as he said
I heard the translator say it, and I looked at him like,
because one of the producers said, does water really break a stone? I said, if it drips long enough on it, it does, yeah. And that's what he's obviously planning on doing.
What do you think? What do you think for the stealing the show?
Maxi Hughes, Giovanni Straffon, it really is. You know what it is? I said Giovanni would win. I said Giovanni Straffon's going to win, and I've been convinced by other people in and around Maxi Hughes' camp, like, no, don't sleep on Maxi. Maxi, you know, everyone said that against Jonah Carroll, everyone said that against Paul Highland. You know, this guy was going to retire after he got beat by Sam Bowen. He's now at a weight that he likes, he's in a camp that he really favours as well. I think we've got a sleeper there. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight.
We're in a results-driven business. And the best result out of these two guys' career is without doubt Straffon over Tennyson. So that puts it into perspective a little bit.
All right, you know what? Ali, we haven't seen you smack it, have we?
Oh, God.
Well, you know, I've seen you smack it, but not in high heels and your outfit.
Yeah, do I have to keep the heels on?
I'll have a go as well.
Oh,
Come on, I'll have a
God.
go as well.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Right, let me take
Everyone, I'm not joking, I got 9:22 before it... my producer is there shaking her head. I got 9:22. I promise.
You got 9:20? I thought it was 9:15.
Yeah, what's 7 between friends?
Are we just adding a few?
What's 7 between friends? Oh, here we go.
Go on, ads.
Hang.
And he walked
Yeah,
through it
that
too.
was-
The
was
nice
quite
little
good.
step into.
That was a very
step
good
into
one.
Keep.
Go on.
Keep 9:36.
That is good. Couldn't I have gone first?
With a suit jacket and shoes.
Couldn't I have gone first? Right.
All right, go on, Ali. Okay. Let's see what you got. No, don't cause yourself more effort. Let me do it for you.
God, this is a disaster.
Good. Oh. It's good. No, that's good. It's good. It's good.
That's not even the best.
No,
That's
it's not bad.
Isn't
Tony,
that 886?
I don't even have to kind of go, Tony, to have a go, do I?
I don't want to do it again.
How many times has he had to do it today?
Before you smack that, look, in 5 minutes' time, remember, it is Before the Bell with Darren Barker and Chris Lloyd. But before we go, Tony, have one more.
You're hoping he's not going to beat.
Wait.
Well done, Ads.
Not saying anything, but I got 9:34. The former cruiserweight champion of the world got 9:25. Look, don't forget to download the app if you want to see all the action tonight. Bye from me, bye from this angry man, and bye from Ali Drew.
There could be a huge shot. It's waved off all over.
He's going to want to take this man on again. One punch can change everything.
You can see the fire in Katie Taylor right there. Heavy punishment. A display of pure raw power.